成员，也是世界第6位登上月球的宇航员艾德加·米切尔语出惊人。他在接受路透社的采访时说，外星人不仅存在，而且曾多次与地球人类接触，只不过各国政府一直对此讳莫如深罢了。艾德加·米切尔是1971年2月6号搭乘阿波罗14号飞船登上月球的，当时米切尔担任登月舱驾驶员。他和阿波罗14号的飞行指令长，美国第1位宇航员艾伦·谢泼德曾经一同在月球上行走了9个小时17分钟，创下了在月球行走时间最长的纪录。据米切尔说，当年他从月球返回太空舱时，有一种被某种东西注视的奇怪感觉，他感到自己和宇宙中的智能生命产生了心灵接触。
I don't know how many or where or how they're doing it, but they've been observing us and here for quite some time.
米切尔称，外星生物的确存在，并且在过去60年中曾多次与地球人类接触。美国宇航局的宇航员曾不止一次地与外星人打过交道。米切尔还声称，美国政府早就知道外星人的存在，却故意将其隐瞒。
The reason for the denial was, number one, they didn't know if these were hostile and could we protect ourselves from them. Didn't want the Soviets to know, so they devised to.
您相信 UFO 吗？您相信有外星人存在吗？一直以来，人们对于 UFO， 也就是不明飞行物是否存在，展开了激烈辩论。多个国家也成立了专门的调查机构。不过，由于调查结果都是最高军事机密，很少有人能知道真相。美国当地时间27号，6名退役的美国空军军官将打破沉默，在华盛顿召开新闻发布会，公开他们曾和 UFO 接触的内幕和证据。这场解密的新闻发布会由退役的美国空军上校罗伯特·萨拉斯带头组织。他曾是冷战时期美军的一名洲际弹道导弹发射官。萨拉斯透露，他曾在1967年经历了一起 UFO 光临蒙大拿州马尔姆斯特罗姆美军基地的事件。他这样形容当时的情景：一架散发着亮红色光芒的椭圆形飞行物出现在军事基地上空，基地中的导弹发射系统几乎全都出现故障。萨拉斯说，事后他的上司立即命令他签署保密协议，宣誓必须就此事永远保持沉默。除了萨拉斯，多名前美军空军军官都表示 UFO 曾多次在美军核武器发射基地的上空出现过，只要这些 UFO 神秘出现，美军基地内的核导弹就会发生故障。在27号的新闻发布会上，这些前美军军官还将公布一些解密的。
He proceeded to tell me what to do with it. Good afternoon. My name is Charles I. Halt. I retired from the U.S. Air Force in 1991 as a colonel. During my military career, I was base commander of 2 large installations, and at the time of my retirement, I was in the Department of Defense Inspector General's office with total inspection oversight of all services and all service agencies. In 1980, I was reassigned from the Pentagon to RAF Bentwaters as a deputy base commander. At that time, Bentwaters was one of the largest tactical fighter wings in the world. We had the 2 base complex, Woodbridge and Bentwaters in England, and 4 FOLs in Germany, and 2 additional standby bases. In December 1980, early in the morning, several of our security policemen discovered strange lights in the forest in East Anglia, just outside the back gate of RAF Woodbridge. 3 patrolmen, Sergeant Peniston, Airman Burroughs, and Airman Cabana-Sack, actually were dispatched into the forest and approached a craft. They reported it being triangular, approximately 3 meters on a side, dark metallic in appearance.
What you have heard here today is evidence of a phenomenon. It sounds fantastic, and it is fantastic. We presented this evidence in the public interest of open government. Our signatures on affidavits in the press kit that you have attest to the truth of our statements. Our evidence is now public domain. The real question is, what is the public going to do with it, this testimony? It has been a general practice of the media to scoff at these kinds of stories, make light of such testimony. We can only ask that you take the time to give some serious consideration not only to our statements, but to the statements of other witnesses out there who have similar incidents. There's also documentary evidence that helps support what we have said. We We hope you will take the time to at least take a look at those, research this a little bit, and if you do, I think you'll come to the same conclusions that we have. That is that the UFO phenomenon is real, not imaginary. There's current excessive secrecy in our government surrounding this phenomenon. Unknown aerial objects have in fact been observed over many of our nuclear weapons bases and other nuclear facilities, and in some cases the appearance of these objects coincided with compromising the operational readiness of our nuclear weapons. Although each of us might have different opinions about the meaning and intent of these incidents, I think we can all agree that the tampering with nuclear weapons is a national security concern. This is Air Force official policy on UFOs. This is dated 2005, but I believe it is current policy. I'll just read one part of it. It says, no UFO reported, investigated, and evaluated by the Air Force was ever an indication of threat to our national security. That is clearly misleading. It is false based on our testimonies. This statement, the decision to discontinue UFO investigations, was based on an evaluation of a report prepared by the University of Colorado in 1969, I believe. This was the infamous Condon Committee study. There was substantial evidence to show that study was superficial and biased. In particular, the Echo and Oscar incidents I spoke about were never investigated by the Condon Committee, even though their principal investigator was well aware of these incidents. Obviously, the testimony given here today conflicts directly with that Air Force policy statement. We ask that our government answer to the public about the obvious discrepancy between our testimony and that of the current statement. Indeed, we demand an answer based on the foundation of our democracy that says, and I want to paraphrase Franklin Delano Roosevelt, President Roosevelt, the people should be strong enough and well enough informed to maintain the sovereign control over its government. Finally, I want to say, I think I speak for every one of us here, I have the utmost respect for all the men and women in the U.S. Air Force. I graduated from the Air Force Academy. I thoroughly enjoyed being a part of the Air Force, and I was honored to serve my country in that way. Our disagreement and challenge to the Air Force has nothing to do with the people of the Air Force. It has to do with official Air Force policy. And I think they are deliberately withholding the facts, not just in what you've heard here, but continuously since 1969. And by doing so, they're not allowing the people of this country to engage in the decisions regarding events that are clearly national security issues and concern to all of us. We're simply asking for the truth.
They're trying to conceal this information, the fact, actually, for all those years. Do you think this will do good for the society's stability, or is it kind of prevent for some advance or further research for our society?
No, that's a big one. We have been lied to for so many decades about the truth of the matter, and I think we need to have more openness in society as far as what these things are. Recently, in the last year or two, the Catholic Church has said publicly, it's okay. ETs can exist. They're our brothers, and they are theologically saying it's okay to believe in extraterrestrials. And if the Catholic Church says it, it's got to have a big stick, I would think, as far as the Western world is concerned anyhow.
Do you think right now it's a time for human beings to admit there are other spiritual beings in the universe besides the human race?
Oh yeah. I think that's the thing is, People are so wrapped up nowadays in their own world. They're worried about jobs. They're worried about mortgages. They could care less about UFOs and ETs and paranormal events and whatnot. That isn't even on their radar scope. Unfortunately, but that's... I understand that. I haven't spoken to college students that much myself, but I understand that that is a fact. Yeah. And that's healthy. I think that's goodness. Oh, yeah. I just wonder what's in the archives in the Vatican as far as UFOs and things like that are concerned. If that could be released, wow, I bet it would blow the socks off a lot of people. That would be interesting.
Okay. Let me. You asked what would the potential changes be for society? Would this be good? Let me briefly summarize and say, in 1975, a former CIA official, Victor Marchetti, wrote a best-selling book called The CIA and Cult of Intelligence. The CIA took him to the Supreme Court to attempt block publication of that book. Ultimately, a redacted version of it was released. It was the first book in American history to be censored by the U.S. government. The same Victor Marchetti, in 1979, wrote an article for Second Look magazine. The title, I believe, was How the CIA Views the UFO Phenomenon. He said, among other things, this subject was so sensitive that you did not talk about it in the agency unless you had a need to. Nevertheless, there were rumors floating around at the highest levels of CIA about recovered crashed UFOs and the bodies of their crews. Thirdly, Victor Marchetti said, in his opinion, as an intelligence analyst with CIA for, I think, 11 years, he was of the opinion that no government on earth will voluntarily release this information because it would jeopardize the status quo, i.e. their power. Even if there's no hostile intent or implication to the visitation of these beings, if indeed these are extraterrestrials, even if they're not meaning us any harm whatsoever, governments have nothing to gain and everything to lose by admitting the reality of this. And Victor Marchetti's opinion is that this will probably come out, by some action on the part of the phenomenon itself, which will leave no doubt in anyone's mind. But don't expect Washington or Moscow or any other government to volunteer the reality of all of this.
One of my reasons for asking this is, being an old district attorney, the definition of murder is the unlawful killing of another human being, but nowhere does it say, does it have to be 100% human? Can it be 1% human? I'm waiting for somebody to play that card. I'm out of the business now, but that might be fun. The other issue is the toadies in government who are following their orders to lose the files in Freedom of Information Acts, I think might take a totally different view as to their attempt to preserve their jobs if they realize that there might be an argument made that there's a First Amendment violation by suppressing the truth about these things that have been found and seen and so forth. And the suppression works to favor certain religions versus other religions.
At this stage, the rocket was traveling between 11 and 14,000 miles per hour when a saucer-shaped craft entered the frame.